Welcome to the Product Business Podcast. This is your number one podcast for the tips, actions, and insights to make more money from your products while enjoying your life. I'm your host, Amy Wenslow. Let's dive right in. Hey everyone, I am so thrilled to be talking to you about something that I think is really overlooked in the entrepreneur world many times. And that is capital, right? But not the kind that you're probably thinking, not the money kind of capital. I'm talking about social capital. Now, in my world, social capital can be even more important than the money kind of capital because, as you'll see, it can bring so many more things to you. Social capital is the goodwill or karma that you build over time with your character. And by that I mean, it's the things that you do for other people that create the goodwill and the rapport that have you able to make requests and have your requests get accepted or negotiated. So I was reminded about this tonight because of all the social capital my business has and that I've created over the years, because we plant seeds and we nurture real relationships. And we do it over time in many ways. So some examples of social capital include things like connections you make for other people, introductions, referrals, apps that you recommend, software that you tell them about, all of those things that make their life better, easier, more full, or connect them to something that moves a goal or an intention they have is a way for you to make a connection, right? Groups that you belong to and participate in. For example, I am a member of the National Association of Women Business Owners, and I was in NAWBO for about a year, and then I realized I really needed to step up my game as far as participating. And since I've done that in the past month, more referrals are coming in and speaking opportunities are opening up. Matter of fact, it looks like I might even be speaking at the national conference in 2020. All of that was from using my presence and my social capital and opening up opportunities for people there through some of the other things we do. And I'll tell you a little bit more about those. But groups that you belong to and that you participate in, right? Just belonging isn't enough to really create social capital. Ways that you give to people and support their causes or goals is another form of social capital. So I have several groups that I belong to and that I go to their meetings, and I make a point of having good, valuable feedback and suggestions for the businesses that present there so that they can move their intentions further, right? But what that does is I actually create goodwill, not just with the business that presented, but also with the other people that are in the room. And there's usually about 50 at a time because they get something from the information too. And it's created social capital with the owner of that group. And that group has about 1,300 members in it at this point. So I have the ability to connect with the owner of that group very differently because I actually help very consciously to make the meetings valuable for people. And that's part of how we've all helped him grow his group. Everybody who participates there helps create it as a magnetic place to be. So when you are thinking about this, think of ways that you give to people and can support their causes or goals or what they're trying to have happen. Another way that you can create social capital is through speaking engagements and presenting something that's of value to people, right? This podcast, I'm creating social capital with you. As we do these podcast episodes and you pick up something, my intention is very much that you benefit from the time that you're putting in here. And I'm investing time, energy, expertise, and thought into your success, right? So that creates social capital with you. So Sharing this podcast creates social capital with me, right? I can see who's commenting and who's sharing and who's liking different things, and that's happening. It creates social capital with me so that I continue to do it. It's very reciprocal. So, like, share, all of that, right? Join the Facebook group that we created is another way to create social capital. Both sides. Again, we had the inspiration last week to create a Facebook group called the Product Entrepreneurs Group. And it's there, it's available. You simply let us know that you want to join, and you can connect with the other product entrepreneurs that are there, that are doing everything from licensing and infomercial and selling directly, online, offline, television shopping channels, infomercials. It's a very diverse group. Now, because we have a lot of social capital, that group grew really very quickly, very organically. We haven't run any ads. We haven't done anything really extraordinary to bring people into it other than let people know it existed. And in less than a week, it has way more people than a lot of groups ever see. So the other place that we've very intentionally created a lot of social capital is in a meetup group that we own. It has over 3,000 business people in it. And we've done it because it gives us a grounded footprint in our community, in our immediate business community in Los Angeles. So Facebook groups can be a way for you to start to create social capital for you and for your business. And like I said, remember, social capital is as important or more important than the other capital because it leads to the other capital. It leads to the introductions, the goodwill, the connections, and the rapport that bring great advisors to you, that bring expanded opportunity, and that bring the actual investor connections. So social capital can go a very, very long way for your business. And it is something that you can build no matter what stage of business you're in. I would highly encourage you to look at the social capital that you have and that you may not have used, and think very consciously of where else would you like to create more social capital. Okay? So extra tip for you for the day. With that, everyone, please go join the new Facebook group. It's Product Entrepreneurs. We're dropping a link into this episode's description, and we will be back with you shortly with the new episode. You have just listened to the Product Business Podcast with me, your host, Amy Wenslow. Subscribe, review, and share our podcast on Apple iTunes, Podcasts, or Google Play. Until next time.